talking about, I've done this before, I know how to get away with it, when he's flushing the condoms down and doing all these reassuring.
Okay, back up just a little bit for me. You said, what statements now?
Okay, if you recall the testimony, I think we had a jury out on it. Ms. McKenzie would testify that when they left the room, when the condoms were disposed of in the bathroom, they had a conversation with Mr. Vandenburg, and he advised them that not to worry, that he's done this before, they can get away with it. His dad got away with it by destroying condoms before and assuring them not to worry, that everything's okay, they're going to get away with it. We think, obviously that's not, doesn't hurt Mr. Batey, but I think it's relevant, one, to show Mr. Vandenburg in destruction of the evidence, but also I think it can go to the theory of possibly of date rape drug by Mr. Vandenburg.
Wait a minute. Okay.
It may be relevant as to what really happened to Miss Lackey when, well, she had quite a few number of drinks, and I don't think they were sufficient for what ended up with her. And I think we can argue the fact that the blue drink, and she was fairly normal before drinking that drink, and then all the things that happened after that, possibly, and Mr. Vandenburg slapping her on the butt and saying she's not going to wake up. It's all indications that possibly he knew something nobody else did, that she'd been drugged, and I think we've got the right to at least argue that on behalf of Miss Lackey, that she's just not some woman who went out and got drunk and passed out. As a possibility that she was drugged in this particular case.
Well, it's a reasonable theory, so yes.
And I think it's not prejudicial to Mr. Batey. It's not talking about anything he did in the past. And I think it should be admissible.
Okay.
We object, Your Honor, if I may. Your Honor, we object to the admissibility of those statements because we think they're, first of all, not relevant to Mr. Batey at that time. They're highly prejudicial, and they don't, and I think they're probably a little shocking too. I think that Mr. Batey was not in the bathroom with Mr. McKenzie, Mr. Banks, or Mr. Vandenburg. He was not there. He was not a part of that. And Mr. Vandenburg could have said anything. We have no way to corroborate. There's no way to corroborate this or discount it. And I just think it's highly prejudicial.
Well, you know, the old saying is that everything the state puts on is prejudicial against the defendant because they are trying to convict a defendant. But, you know, it's one of their, say, alternate theories, and they have a right to present it. I don't see how it's highly prejudicial. It may be prejudicial, but not highly prejudicial as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to allow it, and I do note your objection.
Okay. Also, I anticipate we were going to show a video to Mr. McKenzie to let him identify where he was and identify who's doing what. And that, obviously, we've got a police officer in their opinion say this is such and such, but he was actually in the room, and I think it's necessary for him to view certain photographs in the video to describe what was going on in the timeline at the time he was there and what he's observing. It may not be able to be observed by somebody that wasn't present. And I think clearly the law is not that we cannot show evidence as long as we're not just doing it to prejudice the jury. We're clearly not. I don't plan to show it anymore after that, but I think, and just the one clip, and I need him to identify the voice as who it is, and which is in their favor. That's Mr. Vandenburg saying squeeze it, squeeze it.
Okay.
We don't object to playing the audio part of that to identify the voice, but Your Honor, there is no reason to replay the video for the jury. They can do just like we've done with Mr. Gish. They can play it only for Mr. McKenzie. It's cumulative. Mr. McKenzie can watch it and talk about it, but Detective Gish has gone through and identified everything in the video that there is to see. It would just be, again, a restatement of Detective Gish.
I see your point, but again, this is a different witness who is present, and for him to properly testify about where he was and where everyone else was, he needs to see it. And it can be shown to him.
If I may, is it okay if he sees it, it's fine, but does it have to be published to the jury for them to see it again? Or is he just able to comment?
Well, how is he going to see it without them seeing
It
it?
has to be on that. He can't just see it on that screen over there where he is and make comments on it?
No, he
He
can't,
could-
because that screen would, no.
I was going to say he could watch it on Miss Norman's laptop computer and stand right here and watch the whole thing and comment on it.
It just seems highly prejudicial to continuously keep showing it in under 403.
And there's no...
Okay, I heard it the first time when you objected. An old thing. Proceed. We'll proceed. All right, please be seated. I'm not so sure about lunch. You don't look too happy. I'm sure lunch was okay, right? All right, very good, very good. All right, cross-examination continued for Detective Gish.
Detective Gish, when we were ending, I was asking you about Mr. Batey,
Yes.
and I'm sorry, I just lost my... Where did that go? I apologize. And I was asking you if you agreed that he was in 12 out of 30 photos. I believe that was where we stopped.
Who was?
Mr. Batey.
I think I counted 7.
Well, and actually, and I want to go back through too, so because I was going to ask you about the other one. So if I could receive 29.
Well, on the latest set of photos, he testified that there were 7 out of the 14. You may be referencing 7 out of the 30.
Totality? Yes, sir. And then...
12 out of 30, excuse me.
Yes, sir. That's what I meant, and I would also like to see those because I was going to ask about the other people as well. And obviously, he'll probably need to see them while he's making that determination. But 12 out of 30 of those photos had Mr. Batey in them, correct?
Well, I counted 7 out of that last group. I didn't actually count, but we did identify Mr. Batey in some of the other ones.
Well, okay. Well,
So, yeah, that sounds about right, about
Okay.
12.
I apologize. 28, 29, and 30. You can just give them to him.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And out of, so we said 12 out of 30 of those photos
Okay?
have
Yes.
Mr. Batey in those. And would you agree with me that Mr. Vandenburg is in none of those photos?
That's correct.
Okay. Would you agree with me that Mr. McKenzie is in a total of 3 of those photos
That's
out of
correct.
30? Okay. And Mr. Banks is in about 7 of those photos
Yes.
out of 30? Okay.
Yes.
You can take those from him. Now I want to talk to you about what you testified on direct about as far as Mr. Quinzio,
Sure.
okay? You went to California, and that is where you got a search warrant to go into Mr. Quinzio's house?
Yes.
Okay.
One of 3.
One of 3 search warrants?
Yes.
Okay. And that is where you recovered his phones?
Yes.
Okay. And did you recover his laptop?
Yes.
Okay. And on his laptop is where you found the videos?
Yes.
That we viewed in court today?
Yes.
Okay. Now, through your investigation, do you know if Mr. Batey knows Mr. Quinzio?
No.
Okay. Mr. Quinzio is only Mr. Vandenburg's friend?
Yes.
Okay. And the videos were on his laptop because Brandon Vandenburg sent him
Yes.
those videos. Okay. Did you ever determine a time that he sent them?
Yes.
You did? What?
It was in that original time frame. I don't have the exact times, but those 3 videos were sent from Vandenberg's phone to 2 of them were sent to Miles Finley and Joey Quizno. And then 1 video was sent to those 2 individuals, plus Chris Boyd and Austin Carter Samuels. And that was all between after 2:38 in the morning, but before 3:11 in the morning.
Okay. So after 2:38, but before 3:11 p.m.
Yes.
3:11 a.m. I apologize. Thank you. And Brandon Vandenburg sent, I'm sorry, you just said Brandon Vandenburg sent multiple videos to different people, right? Carter Samuels, Austin Carter Samuels, Mr. Boyd, Mr. Finley, and Mr. Quinzio.
Well, the way it happened was there were 2 message
Right.
conversations. And in the first message conversation, it was Mr. Vandenberg, Finley, Quizno. And the 2 videos went out in that message conversation.
And those are the ones you recovered?
Those are 2 of the 3 that I recovered.
Okay. And you recovered those 2 from Mr. Quinzio's laptop?
That's right.
Okay. And you recovered another one from Mr. Quinzio's laptop as well?
I did. That was the video in the same time frame.
Okay.
That Vandenberg had sent all 4 of those individuals I just named.
Okay. Now, I believe I'd like to give you Exhibit 37. And these were 5 images found on Mr. Quinzio's computer as well?
These were not images recovered. These are the actual videos that I recovered.
The actual 5 you talked about?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so they're the actual 5 you talked about, of which we've only seen?
Right, they're not images. I did not recover any images off of Quizneo's computer, only these 5 video files.
Okay.
And this sheet depicts after I copied these 5 files out of the forensic image onto my forensic workstation, and then I took a screenshot to show the different file names.
Okay, so they're just screenshots of the actual video?
It's a screenshot of the 5 thumbnails on my computer.
Perfect, thank you. You can grab that. Now I'd like to talk to you about the next exhibit that was admitted, and I believe that was, why do I have 37? I apologize. Miss La report, is that 38? Did I write that down wrong? 38A, okay, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And on this, it shows that during the hours, I guess from 2:30 to about 8:30, Miss La is that what that shows?
Well, if you look at the top line, that's actually the day before. Are you referring to that one too? It's actually on 6/22, if we're looking at the same document.
I was talking about the day of 6/23.
Of 6/23, okay.
Between 2:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m. Is that about three phone calls she made?
Yes, it's 3.
Okay. And she made 3 phone calls to Mr. Bernstein?
She did.
Okay. And you stated that it was deleted, recovered.
Yes.
What does that mean again?
Well, you've heard me talk for the last 2 days about
Yeah.
things not being able to be recovered from an iPhone, right?
Right.
So that holds true to an individual file. So a picture or a video or a Word document would be an individual file that the user could go in and actually delete
Right.
themselves. Now, not everything that's deleted from an iPhone by the user gets deleted as in can't be recovered. And I think I said earlier with General Norman, this instance is where things are deleted out of a database. So we're looking at call logs here, and text messages work the same way. There's actually one file that is the database that holds the call log, and there's one file for the database that holds the text messages. So if you think about this database as an Excel spreadsheet, so let's just think about it that way. When a user deletes a text message or they delete a call, it's deleted within this database.
Okay.
So it's not encrypted inside the database. And there's no encryption key to that one entry. But if Apple would allow you to delete the entire database, that's what has the encryption key, and the encryption key would be blown out and you couldn't recover anything.
So, and again, you know, you have a wealth of knowledge here.
Sure.
In layman's terms, are you saying that those outgoing calls were deleted and you were able to recover them?
Yes, they were
Oh, okay.
deleted.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now, you can take that from, I believe he has 38. Would you please hand him 39? A through G. And you have 39 in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. I believe the time frame starts on June 23rd at 6:22 p.m.,
Yes.
correct? And the first two texts would be before June 23rd around 2:30 a.m., right?
I'm sorry?
The first two texts,
Okay.
they
And
began June 23rd, earlier in the day, 6 p.m.
right.
Right. No, I apologize. I was looking at the wrong, I apologize. Now, in these texts, a video is referenced. And is that the same video you were talking about you knew that Mr. Vandenburg had sent Mr. Boyd?
I don't know which video that Mr. Batey was referencing.
No, I'm asking you, you said Mr. Boyd was sent a video by Mr. Vandenburg? Did you state that?
Right.
Right. And you didn't recover it though, right?
No.
Okay. And I'll take you to right here on June 24th around 1:30 p.m.
What number?
Referring to the text?
I am. The text. I am on page, let's see.
The number's on the left side.
Let's see. It is number 9.
Yes, I'm there.
After going through all of Mr. Batey's text messages and whatnot, is this the first time you ever see him reference a video?
No.
So he referenced the video before June 24th at 1:30?
Now, like today, is that what you're talking about?
On
or-
June 24th?
Yeah, this is the first time that I saw the video being referenced.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Thank you. You can take that from him.
Are you finished with this exhibit?
Yes, Your Honor, I am finished with that exhibit.
Thank you.
If you give me 1 second. hand him Exhibit 43, please? Thank you.
Are those with identification purposes only?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to hand the state something, and then I'm going to hand it to you. And I asked to hand him these. Thank you. Would you first look at exhibit number 43 that was admitted for identification purposes only?
Yes.
And would you go to number 3?
Yes.
And then look at the page that I have handed you and make sure that that is parallel.
Yes.
And then would you look at number 8? And would you make sure it's parallel with number 8?
Yes, it is.
Are those the messages that were found on Mr. Batey's phone, number 3 and number 8?
They are.
Okay, I'd ask that number 3 and number 8 be admitted into evidence, Your Honor. And before you hand it to him, I'm going to have him read. I'm going to have him read it. Yeah, I'm going to have him read it. Yeah, I'm going to have him read it. Thank you. There. 44AB, thank you. Is number 3 an incoming text message to Mr. Batey?
It is.
And what does it ask?
It asks AWW, which I assume that to be all, all, what you getting into tonight?
And it's from what number?
Yeah, it's from this phone number,
Okay.
615 018.
And around what time was
It
that?
is on 6/22 of 2013 at 10:26 p.m.
And then number 8, is that a message going to that same number from Mr. Batey's phone?
It is.
And what
It's-
does the message say?
It's going to that same number,
Okay.
and it says IDK. It's an acronym for I don't know, yet I'm just drinking now. WBU question mark, which is an acronym for what about you? And it was sent on 6/22 of 2013 at 10:57 p.m.
All right. Thank you. You can admit those into evidence. Thank you. Detective Gish, I also want to ask you about what you saw on the screen earlier. You testified on direct. It was the a white watch that was previously admitted into evidence. What number is that? I'm sorry. The white watch, the picture of the white watch I think I have.
I don't remember that being I believe it's 13. 13. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I know you are a very experienced forensic video analyst and forensic audio analyst. Do you analyze cameras?
Yes.
Okay. And the camera that was used to take that picture, did you analyze that camera?
I did not.
Okay. And were you there when that picture was taken?
I was not.
Okay. And so you were talking on direct about how when a picture is taken, and I think you gave an example of a GPS phone, right?
Right.
But you don't know what that was taken with.
No, and I guess I need to go back. I don't know if I analyzed this camera or not.
Okay.
I'm assuming this is a picture that maybe Detective Mayo took.
Okay. And do you know what he took it with?
I would only assume that he took it with his department-issued camera for
Okay.
sex crimes.
Awesome. And so did you analyze that camera he took it with on the day, June, or anywhere around June 27th or 28th?
No, it's not in our policy to analyze our cameras that are utilized to photograph evidence of a crime or a crime scene.
Okay, and so since you didn't, you would have to basically assume that the date and time set on that camera was accurate, correct?
Right.
Okay.
It'd be better to step away from the podium if you're going to whisper long enough, because those mics will pick you up.
Detective Gish, I want to ask you about the phones that you recovered in this case.
Yes?
You did say you recovered the phone of Mr. Banks.
I didn't say that.
You didn't? Go ahead.
I
What phone
didn't-
did you recover?
I didn't recover any of the items that were in Nashville. I never went to that crime scene.
Right.
I wasn't notified of this incident until July the 1st. The phones that I recovered were the evidence in California.
Oh, okay. So you only analyzed some of the phones that were given to you, right?
I analyzed all of the phones, but I only recovered the phones that from California, from Quisneo and Miles Finley. I wasn't notified, nor do I know the date
Right.
that Detective Mayo
Right.
seized or collected the computers from Nashville, or the phones.
Tell me, which phones did you analyze of which people?
Want all of them?
Yes, please.
The victim's phone began processing on 7/8 of 2013. And when I say began processing, that means the time that the extraction was completed with the software. The extraction process with the software to get the data out of the phone could be mere just a couple of hours, but analyzing this data could take days, and a lot of times it did. So this is the day around the time that it started. Vandenburg's iPhone on July the 2nd of 2013, Cory Batey's iPhone July the 4th of 2013, Brandon Banks' iPhone July the 3rd of 2013, Jaborian McKenzie's iPhone July the 11th of 2013, Chris Boyd's iPhone July the 10th of 2013, Mac Prelu's iPhone July the 9th of 2013, Austin Carter Samuel's iPhone July the 2nd of 2013, Joey Quizno's iPhone 4 S, August the 1st of 2013. Joey Quizneo's iPhone 5, August the 1st of 2013. Excuse me. Miles Finley, his iPhone, August the 1st of 2013. And that's the phones.
Okay. You did.
But let me be clear.
Go ahead.
This is when we already had those in evidence at the time, a lot of those. A lot of the Nashville phones, because they were brought up at the same time.
Right.
Of course, I can only work one phone at a time and do analysis. So that's basically a baseline of when I started the analysis on those different devices.
Okay. And at no time did you analyze Jake Bernstein's phone?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I have no further questions.
I only have one, maybe two questions, but I do think that I need to address your Honor before asking.
All right.
Gish, when you analyzed the three phones that had the thumbnail images on them, did you recover more photos in addition to what was introduced on direct examination?
I did.
And Your Honor, the state would request, I guess, an instruction from the court related to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, there are only 30 photographs that have been admitted into evidence. Obviously, well, not obviously, but there were a number of other photographs that were taken. They were not admitted into evidence because they were cumulative and unnecessary. So just keep that in mind, that we just didn't need them, all right?
Detective Gish, in all of the photographs that you viewed, and not photographs, but the thumbnail images that you viewed, did you see Mac Prelu in any of those images?
I did not.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Any recross?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Detective.
Thank you,
Excuse.
Judge. Thank you.
All right, see you the next time.
That's right.
All right, next witness.
Good morning, McKenzie.
Ms. Bell, you want to come up here? I'm referencing Mr. McKinney's attorney, and oftentimes when one testifies, or a co-defendant testifies, his or her attorney is usually close by. What? I can't hear you.
He's fine, I can just...
Okay, that's fine.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
State your name for court, please.
Gordon McKenzie
And where are you currently living, Mr. McKenzie?
in Mississippi.
You're currently out on bond in this case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that the original bond that was set by the court and the grand jury, or has it been modified at all?
It's the original.
And are there any restrictions been placed on your bond by the court?
No, sir.
Are you currently in school?
Yes, sir.
Where are you in school?
At Alcorn State University.
And what year are you?
I'm a senior.
Okay, what's your major?
Ag business.
How old are you now?
21.
How old were you back in 2013, June of 2013?
18.
You ever been convicted of a crime before?
No, sir.
Where were you in school on June of 2013?
No, Vandenburg.
Okay, that's here in Nashville, of course.
Yes, sir.
And were you on scholarship?
Yes, sir.
What type of scholarship were you on?
Football.
Who was your roommate?
Brandon Banks.
And do you know the defendant in this case, Cory Batey?
Yes, sir.
You see Mr. Batey in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Point him out. Just describe what he's got on.
He's over there with a blue shirt, gray suit.
Record reflect you did identify the defendant, young please. How would you describe your relationship back in June of 2013 with Mr. Batey?
We was like best friends.
Okay. And how would you describe his personality?
He has a strong personality.
And would you classify him as a follower or a leader or somewhere in between?
He was a leader.
What about Mr. Banks? What was your relationship with him?
We was also best friends. He was my roommate.
Okay. Did you three hang out together a lot?
Yes, sir.
And how do you feel about testifying in this trial today?
No, I'm not happy with being here, sir.
Did you know defendant Brandon Vandenburg before the night of June 22nd, 2013?
No, sir.
Where were you, or who were you with that night?
Cory Batey and Brandon Banks.
And where were you guys?
We was in our dorm room.
Okay, and what were you doing there?
Hanging out, drinking, listening to some music.
Okay. And what kind of alcohol was in the room?
We had strawberries and some vodka.
Just one bottle of vodka or more?
One.
And were there other people coming in and out and also drinking?
Yes, sir.
Approximately how many?
Maybe 3 to 4 came by.
So you're talking now approximately 6, 7 people were drinking in your room from time to time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many drinks, if you recall, did you have?
2 or 3 lime-a-ritas and 2 or 3 cups of some vodka.
Can you repeat that, Your Honor? Yeah, raise your voice a little bit when you speak, because we're having difficulty hearing.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir. 2 or 3 lime-a-ritas and a cup or 2 of vodka.
Okay. Did Mr. Batey have anything to drink while you
Yes,
were
sir.
there? And if you recall, what approximately did he drink?
About the same.
Okay. And what were the size of the lime-a-ritas you were drinking?
The 8 ounce.
Okay. And do you recall whether you had a 12-pack or a 6-pack or what?
We had a 12-pack.
Okay, so you had a 12-pack, and were any of the other 5 or 6 people that came in the room, were they drinking lime-a-ritas too?
They could have, I'm not sure.
Okay. And did you eventually leave your room to go to another part of campus?
Yes, sir.
And who went with you?
Cory Batey and Brandon Banks.
Okay, and where were you going?
To East Hall.
Okay. At that time, did any of you have any trouble communicating, walking, or doing anything?
No, sir.
And when you got to East Hall, what was going on at East?
They had a little gathering over there, friends. We was listening to music, hanging out, drinking.
Okay. How many folks were there?
Maybe 50 to 100.
Okay, so it was a pretty large crowd out in the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
And did you have something else to drink there?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall what you had to drink?
Some more lime-a-ritas and whatever they had to drink.
Do you recall how many drinks you might have had?
No, sir.
What about Mr. Batey? Did you continue to hang out with him, or did you guys get separated?
We hung out and we separated.
Okay. Do you know what he had to drink, if anything, there?
He had more lime-a-ritas and more drinks.
Okay. Now, did you eventually leave East?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who went with you when you left?
Cory Batey and Brandon Banks.
Okay. Was anyone with Mr. Batey?
Yes, sir.
Did you know who that was?
I knew of her.
Okay. And how would you describe your level of intoxication when you left East?
We was all buzzed.
And you mean buzzed? What
We
exactly?
feeling the alcohol, but we were able to function on our own.
Okay. Any trouble walking, anybody?
No, sir.
Any trouble talking or understanding each other?
No, sir.
And then when you got back to the dorm, did you guys stay together or did you separate?
Brandon Banks and I went to our room. Cory and his friend went to his room.
Okay. And then what did you and Mr. Banks decide to do after you got back to your room?
To go grab a bite to eat from Qdoba.
Okay. And did you communicate that to Mr. Batey in some way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did he send you a text?
Yes, sir.
And what was the text about?
Telling me what he wanted to eat.
Okay. And if that, I think has been put to record approximately 2:05 a.m. in the morning, would that be correct?
Objection leaving, Your Honor.
Okay, well, all right, sustain.
Do you recall approximately what time it was?
I'm not sure.
And how long were you gone to get food?
From 25 to 30 minutes maybe.
Okay. And did you pick up Mr. Batey some food as he requested?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you got back to Gillette Hall and you were Mr. Banks with the food, who did you see then?
Vandenburg and Cory Batey was coming downstairs.
Okay. Who was with Mr. Batey at that time?
His friend.
Okay. And then what happened?
Vandenburg approached us, telling us that he had this young lady in the car and he needed help. She was passed out, needed help getting her to the room.
Okay. And did you all agree to go to his room?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you able to hear everything that was said between Mr. Vandenburg, Mr. Banks, or Mr. Vandenburg and Mr. Batey?
No, sir.
Okay. Why was that?
I was behind him.
Okay. Did you eventually get to Mr. Vandenberg's room?
Yes, sir.
And where was that located?
On the second floor.
Okay. Where was your room located?
The sixth floor.
Okay. And who was the last person to enter the room?
I was.
Okay. And when you entered the room, did you see a young woman?
Yes, sir.
And where was she located?
Placed on the floor in front of the closet.
Okay. Did you know her?
No, sir.
And how would you describe her condition when you observed her?
She was passed out.
You'd seen her being carried in, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear her making any sounds in the room at all?
No, sir.
Now, after you got into the room, what exactly started to happen at that time?
Some small talk about where they had been that night and what they had to drink. And Cory started to address the young lady on the floor.
Okay. That was right as soon as you got in the room, basically?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, at that time, did Mr. Vandenberg say anything?
Yes, sir. He tried to wake his roommates. He made it.
What did he do with the condoms when he got them out of the dresser?
He passed the condom, made sure everyone grabbed the condom, passed the condoms around to everyone in the room.
Did you take a condom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you ever put it on?
No, sir. I stuffed it in my pocket.
Okay. Let me just a second here. I would like this time, Your Honor, please, the court's permission to publish 28H.
Okay, I don't know what it is, so it's going to be on the big screen, right?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
thumbnail.
Okay, yes, it's on, well, screen is up. Joan Norma, you're the one who's operating it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. McKenzie, sometimes you have to step down to get a closer look, or you can do that, but if you can see from there, that's fine. Can you tell what that
Yes, sir.
thumbnail sketch shows?
It shows the young lady laying on the floor. Cory's over her head on his knees. I'm standing by the door and Brandon Banks standing behind Cory.
Okay. And did that happen when you first got in the room, or was it sometime later?
When we first got in the room.
Thank you, sir. And I guess I can point out, is that you right here in the white?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you even closed the door at that time?
Sir?
Was the door closed at that time?
Yes, sir.
So after that, what happened next?
Well, he continued to touch the young lady. He penetrated with his fingers digitally, anal and vagina, and Vandenburg is videoing, and I'm not sure about the sequence, and Vandenburg pulled out a bottle, splashed it on himself, got it.
There. Let me show you 28G. This would have been at 2:40:10, which would have been just a few minutes after you entered the room. Awfully.
Object to Mr. Berman suggesting times of when anything
Okay,
occurred.
sustained.
The Gish said it's the second time.
Your Honor, please, we've got a timeline placed in the evidence. It's time stamped, I think. For the record, I can state the time stamp. What can you observe there, Mr. McKenzie?
She's laying on her stomach. Cory has his finger in her, and Banks is there taking pictures.
Is that when you were referring to the anal penetration?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, try not to leave.
So, after that, you can take that. After that incident, I think the time stamp next, we'd like to play 36D, which is 2:40:50 time stamp. Now, Mr. McKenzie, did you see yourself in that video?
Yes, sir.
And what shoes were you wearing?
The blue and white.
Okay. And did you see who placed the bottle into Miss Lackey?
I'm not sure who placed the bottle.
Okay. Now, can you identify who it was that was squeezing the bottle?
Yes, sir. It was Brandon Banks.
Okay. And who was it that was, I guess a better word, mounted on?
That characterization, Your Honor, we have, that's Mr.
Okay, well, rephrase the question.
Who was that? Was it on top of?
Judge, that too, Your Honor, that calls for a conclusion.
Well, I mean, I don't know how it can be phrased.
The question would be,
Who appeared to be on top of?
And who was the voice you heard laughing?
Brandon Vandenburg.
Okay. And who was videotaping that?
No, Vandenburg.
Okay. So, what happened next?
There was some statements being made that Cory said he never had his ass ate before. He later said on her face. and sticks his penis in her mouth.
Okay. Let me show you what's been 28B, please. That's not it. 28B. Can you see it? Can you see that photograph, please, sir?
Yes, sir.
And does that show anything that you just described?
Cory's attempting to put, Cory putting his penis in her mouth.
Okay. You saw that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Now, also, if you could now show me 30M.
Prior exhibit number, Your Honor, please.
28B.
You don't have... Sidebar.
Okay.
Man, do you need a break?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, this is a sidebar right now. You just heard they asked him, are you okay? He said, I'm fine, but...
Tell us what that photo shows.
Cory Batey sitting on her face, looking at me throwing the bird.
Okay. Is that you in the corner, in the white again?
Yes, sir.
Now, after that, you said that Mr. Batey did what? After sitting on her face?
Attempt to have sex with her again.
Okay. And what did you observe make you think he was attempting to have sex with her again?
Sexual movements.
Okay. Was he, just describe the position he was in and she was in?
It was between her legs on top of her.
Okay. What were you seeing as far as any movement?
His lower part of his body.
Okay. Could you yourself determine whether he was penetrating her?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, did you also see Mr. Banks do anything else other than squeeze the bottle?
Yes, sir. He took pictures.
Took pictures of what?
Her vagina.
Now, What else did Mr. Vandenburg do during all of this, other than the video and the words we heard him say?
Well, after Cory had started to slap her, and I made a statement that she was going to wake up, and Vandenburg stated she wasn't going to wake up, and he reached over and slapped her.
Okay. Where did they slap her?
On the behind.
Okay. Was it just a slight tap, or was it a hard slap?
It was pretty hard.
Okay. And prior to that, had Mr. Vandenburg done anything to indicate to you that he wanted to have sex with you?
Yes, sir. He pulled his laptop out and turned on porn.
Okay. Did everyone watch the porn, or just him?
Just him.
Okay. Did he do anything else to himself?
Yes, sir. He was touching himself and made a statement that.
Okay. And what was the statement he made?
He said he couldn't get a hard.
The statement he made when the slapping occurred?
Oh, he said she wasn't going to wake up.
Now, let's talk about you for a while.
Yes, sir.
You were obviously present in the room.
Yes, sir.
What did you do in the room?
I took a condom when he passed the condom out, and I took the picture of Cory on his phone when he asked me to, shooting a bird.
So you used Cory's phone?
Yes, sir.
Is that the only picture you took on it?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever... Now, what was the last thing that happened that ended this 30-minute episode?
Cory said that he was going to piss on her. Yes, sir.
And during this, who, if anyone, told Cory Batey what to do?
No one.
Did Mr. Vandenburg ever say anything to him about what he should do?
He just said make sure he put on a condom.
But nothing else?
Nothing else.
And did you see, when you were in there, did you see anyone else in the room?
In his bed asleep.
Okay. Did you see him do anything?
No, sir.
Did you hear him say anything?
No, sir.
Now, after this was over, did you leave the room?
Yes, sir.
And who went with you?
Brandon Banks.
And where did y'all go?
Into the hallway, then into the restroom.
Okay, you first the hallway, then the restroom. Why did you go into the restroom?
Vandenburg had came out and told us to come into the restroom.
Okay. So when you went in the restroom, what did Mr. Vandenburg say to you?
Well, Banks and I was talking about what we was freaking out from what happened in the room, and he told us to, calm down, chill. It's gonna be okay. He was flushing the condoms down the toilet, and that he's done this before.
When you say he, who are you referring to?
And Vandenburg said, he actually said his dad beat a rape case and said he flushed condoms down the toilet, and Vandenburg said he done it before.
And after that, did you see Mr. Vandenburg do anything in the hallway?
Yes, sir. We went back in the room. He was asking us to take her back to her car, and we didn't want to take her back to the car because we didn't want to be seen on camera. And he covers his face with a towel and comes out and covers the camera.
And what happened after that?
Banks and I ran out the room, back to the floor, back to our room.
I think you all were laughing, having a big time at that time?
Yes, sir.
What were you laughing about?
That the only white guy in the room would put a towel over his face and go cover the camera, and we just ditched him.
Let me ask you to, see here, put up, let me just ask you this. Where was Miss left and ran back to your room?
She was placed in front, outside of Vandenburg's door.
Okay. You could put up 29F, please. Can you tell us what that shows?
There's the young lady laying in front of the door, laying on her stomach with red marks on her behind.
Thanks. Is that the last time you saw her that night?
Yes, sir.
After you went back to your room, did anyone join you later?
Yes, sir.
Who was that?
Cory Batey.
And did y'all have a discussion?
No, we was just hanging out. He came in, he was on his phone.
Do you know who he was talking to?
No, sir.
At that time, was he having any trouble communicating with you at all?
No, sir.
Check the lead, Your Honor. Just stand.
Describe how he was talking to you.
In a normal fashion.
And how long did he stay there?
From 15 to 30 minutes, I'm not sure.
And did, sometime after this, you and Mr. Banks, Mr. Vandenburg, Mr. Batey get together?
Yes, sir.
Where did that happen?
We was questioned by student conduct, and we went to Popeyes after that.
On the next morning after this, on the 23rd, did you talk to Cory Batey that morning?
Yes, sir.
And did you ask him a specific question?
Yes, sir.
And what was that question?
Did he get it in?
And what did he respond?
Yes, sir.
He said yes, sir, to you, or what was
Oh,
it?
no, he said, yeah, he got it in.
Okay. So after that, you say you all got together after student conduct at Popeyes, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what did you discuss there?
Well, we all asked each other what we told student conduct, and we pretty much told them the same thing, everything that happened in the room except for the bad stuff, and we said we was going to stick with that to further notice.
Okay. So did everyone agree to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there anyone else on the team that was attempting to contain the situation along with you guys?
Yes, sir.
Who was that?
Chris Boyd.
And who was Chris Boyd?
He was a teammate and a friend of all of us.
Okay. So you guys are all wide receivers, is that right?
Vandenburg was a tight end, and Brandon Banks was a cornerback.
Okay. But you and Mr. Batey at that time were wide receivers, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Boyd was a wide receiver?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then when do you recall being called in to talk to the Vanderbilt officials, Mr. Black?
Yes, sir.
And did you talk to him?
Yes, sir.
Did you give him a statement?
Yes, sir.
Written statement?
I think it was recorded.
Okay. Did you tell him the truth?
No, sir.
Did you tell him the story you're supposed to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, later you were interviewed by the police, were you not?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell them the truth or a lie?
A lie.
And even later, after you were charged and you had attorneys, did you meet with the district attorney's office?
Yes, sir.
And did you tell us the truth or a lie?
A lie.
Now, it's obvious why you would want to lie to protect yourself, but were there any other reasons that you continue to lie? I'm not testifying. I'm just asking a question other than obvious. It's not leading.
Okay, just ask your question.
Other than the obvious reason for lying about misconduct, was there any other reason that you lied to all these people about the case?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
Well, for one, I was ashamed of what took place in the room. I had family members telling me not to tell anything that couldn't be proven, and it was just hard to tell on my two best friends at the time.
Did you and Mr. Batey and Mr. Banks ever see Mr. Prelude again?
Yes, sir.
And when was that?
It was one day. I'm not sure what day it was. We saw him outside the dorm.
And did you all approach him?
Yes, sir.
And what did you say to him?
I'm not sure who said it, but it was stated to him that we need his help to clean out the room, help clean the room.
Okay. And you're under oath today, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes, sir.
What happens if you don't tell the truth?
Self-serving statement. Are you telling the truth?
I mean, he can ask that question.
You know what happens to you if you don't tell the truth under oath?
I can be charged.
Okay. What do you hope to get out of the fact that you're testifying today?
Just some type of consideration.
Okay. Have you been promised anything for your testimony?
No, sir.
You realize you could maybe go to trial yourself?
Yes, sir.
And now that you're 21 years old, how do you feel about your actions back on June 23rd of 2013?
Well, I'm ashamed of what I watched take place that day. I'm not happy about it at all. It's just, I hate that it happened that way.
Okay, that's all the questions I have for Mr. McKinney.
We are having a bit of difficulty with our CD to play. Would ask for a couple of...
Well, I mean, it's close to our break time, so we'll just go ahead and take our 15 minutes.